Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Janavallabha Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Vraj Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraj Janaranjana Yamunati Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So then we should do the Mangala chant. Prabhuji, you want to do Mangala chant?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, then Pranam, Krishna Shri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuram Nilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadadi Snapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandapranam.
Thank you. Very nice. So, devotees, thank you for joining to our ISKCON Temple Gita discussion every weekdays from Monday to Friday. So, past 1 week we have all joined in different satsang, especially over the weekend, long weekend, we joined Sadhu Sangha at Orlando. So that Sadhu Sangha actually, in totally the atmosphere was Vaikuntha. Everyone was so smiling, happy mood, dancing, kirtan, prasadam, unlimited. So still, I think we are in that mood, and with this happy Krishna conscious mood, we will start Gita discussion again. And we are in the chapter of 7, knowledge of the absolute. And last week we discussed until the verse 7. So verse 7 is very important sloka, especially the first line, Mot Porton Nannat. Krishna is telling directly, there is no truth super to me. If anyone argues that why Krishna is the supreme, how do you prove it? So Gita is the book where we know the identity of the Bhagavan. And here Krishna directly telling there is no truth super to me, boldly. In so many shastras, Ved, Upanishad, Samhita, Puran, Bhagavatam, except Krishna, no one declared that he is the supreme. And in Gita, it directly said that he is the absolute truth and no truth super to me. So, as a devotee, we know already, but if non-devotees, most of the time, encourage us, how do you prove the Krishna is supreme? So, with all the verses from Gita, Bhagavatam, all the Mahamunis who are talking, even including Lord Shiva, that Krishna is supreme. So, those verses we should memorize and reproduce when needed to discuss our Shastra and defend ourselves why Krishna is the supreme. And Gita is acknowledged by everybody all over the world, even non-Hindus. So it is a like most read, most accepted books in the spiritual library of our Sanatana Dharma. So if Gita is written that way and Krishna directly declaring himself the supreme, there is no other confusion should arise. So we can start from the verse 8 and we'll continue. Three or multiple devotees can read the verse and then translation with part, synonyms with translation and then purport. It's not a big purport, so one devotee can read the purport and one devotee can with translation and synonyms. Let me reset first. Rasaham Opshu Ponte O Prabhashmi Shoshi Shurho Pranabo Sarbo Vedeshu Shabdokhe Purusham Rishu. Hare Krishna. Any other views want to recite?
Start, Prabhuji.
Sure, Madhusudhan.
Rasoham psu kaunteya prabhasmi shishu suryayoh ranavah sarva vedeshu shabdah ke paurusham nrishu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
I'll also try. Hare Krishna devotees. Then Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhashmi shashishuryayo pranava sarveshu. Sorry, pranava sarva vedeshu shabdako paurusham nushu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much. So, devotees, can someone read the synonym and translation? If you are, yeah, please go ahead.
Rasah, taste. Aham, I. Apsu, in water. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Prabha, the light. Asmi, I am. Sasi, Suryayoh, of the moon and the sun. Pranavaha, the three letters Om. Sarva, in all. Vedeshu, the Vedas. Shabdah, sound vibration. Khe, in the ether. Paurusham, ability. Nrishu, in men. Translation. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Devotees who can read the purport?
Prabhuji, I can type, Prabhuji. Hare
Please go.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam devotees. Purport by Sri Sisi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki Jai. This verse explains how the Lord is all pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. The Supreme Lord can be primarily perceived by his different energies, and this way he is realized impersonally. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by his all pervading energy, the sunshine, so the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all pervading diffusive energies. The taste of water is the active principle of water. No one likes to drink seawater because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in water by its taste, and the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly supplying taste water to quench man's thirst. That is the way why that is the way of perceiving the Supreme. Practically speaking, there is no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and the personal conception are similarly present in everything, and that there is no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya established his sublime doctrine, Achintya Bheda and Abheda Tattva, simultaneously oneness and difference. The light of the sun and the moon is also originally emanating from the Brahma Jyotir, which is the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. And Pranava or the Omkara, transcendental sound in the beginning of every Vedic hymn, addresses the Supreme Lord. Because the impersonalists are very much afraid of addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna by his innumerable names, they prefer to vibrate the transcendental sound Omkara. But they do not realize that Omkara is the sound representation of Krishna. The jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness extends everywhere, and one who knows Krishna consciousness is blessed. Those who do not know Krishna are in illusion, and so knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of him is bondage. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, please share your comments, understanding.
Yes, Prabhuji, two sentences, but please correct me. So here, Prabhupada, the quote itself is giving, Krishna is telling to Arjuna that he's the taste of the water, and he's the light of the sun and the moon. And he's also saying he's the Om, and the way in the Vedic mantras, he's the Omkara. And also he's the sound in ether and the ability in the man, that consciousness and so forth, everything he's the. So we already know, or to my understanding, he's the one who's giving the water. He's the one who's he expansion. Water is within him. Water is coming from him. The sun, moon, all these expansions are actually from him. But here he is also saying the substance, which is the taste, which is the light, which is the symbol, the sound vibration. The substance also is coming from him, or he is the substance, basically. So I remember his Pran Govind Prabhuji 2 years ago when he came to our Balram Sarup Prabhu's house. He was mentioning the topic that he took, or he was explaining, is about the form and the substance. Usually we see when we go to the temple, we see the form, but one who is Krishna conscious, the devotee, the actual devotee, looks into the substance also, along with the form. Initially, we can be attracted to the form, but eventually, as we develop, as we grow spiritually, we get to see the substance as well. So the form is actually taking to the substance. Um, so that's what I recall, but please correct me if that is actually reverse. Um, that's one. Second, here Prabhupada is explaining, um, is indicating the on how a devotee is really blessed to know the actual truth that Krishna is the origin, in everything. So Prabhupada took an example of the Omkara, and comparing how Omkara is considered, is taken as a pranava for the by the impersonalist, whereas a personalist who knows the form of the Lord, who knows the substance as well as the form of the Lord, would focus on the on the form of the Lord as well, because the devotee knows there is Bhagavan as well, not just the Brahman, not just the Paramatma, but the Bhagavan also exists. So the devotee who really has faith, in the Bhagavan form of the Lord, tries to praise the Lord in always he in different through different names, through different, he sees the devotee sees the Lord everywhere, in everything, rather than focusing on only one, uh, which is the Omkara in this case, that Prabhupada is compared to the all the beautiful names of the Lord. So we chant Govinda, Madhava, Keshava, beautiful kirtans, giving bliss. We dance together, singing, whereas meditating upon Omkara, that happiness doesn't exist, at least to me, when I compare that to what Prabhupada is saying here, clearly differentiating the difference. These are my 2 cents, Prabhuji. Please correct me. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Balaji.
Mataji, can you explain a little bit more about the form and substance that you were talking about, please?
Sure, Mataji, but before that, I would like to know, Prabhuji, Baldev Seva Prabhu, is my understanding correct to what?
Yes, Mataji. Like here, Prabhupada clearly says also that it is very easy to understand the energies, right? Energies is very to understand. Okay, I get the heat. But the heat is coming from what? From the sun rays. Sun is coming from the what? From the sun. Who is the actually main person of the sun? The personality. Can we see the sun god? We cannot see. So people who are confused or who are not that much of highly advanced in spiritual practice, they will not worship the sun god because they cannot see due to the limitations. But we all can feel energies. Who cannot feel energies? Krishna energy, each and everyone. The thief, the animals, the plants, the devotees all feel the energies. But only devotee can see Krishna behind the energies. But others, they have a shade in front of their eyes. They see and feel the energy, and they think that energy is the God. Prabhupada clearly telling here, his divine energies, the Supreme Lord can be preliminarily perceived by his different energies. And in this way, he's realized impersonally. That's why the who are not advanced, they think that imperson, because they can see Krishna. But devotee only can see Krishna, feel Krishna, interact Krishna, and they know very clearly who is behind the energy. That is the mother you are telling, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. So that's the second part that I was trying to explain from Prabhupada's purport. The first part, Mataji, the substance and the form, um, probably may not be kind of related, but may not be a good example to be brought up here. I just got the thoughts, so I was sharing. But it's a very important topic. So when we go to temple, um, or this is more of a personalist point of view, right? We know there's a person, there's Krishna, and then when we go to the temple, when we view Krishna, then it's the form that we are viewing, right? We are meditating upon the form. But to what Prabhuji was explaining earlier, His Grace Pran Govindas Prabhu, we need to meditate upon the substance of the form as well, his nama, guna, lila. Also, not just the form of Krishna. If we see only the form, then we'll probably get lost too. We would see the turban of Krishna, so beautiful, the chain, the flute, yes, the anklets, everything, which is good, which is still good rather than the Omkara, meditating upon the Omkara. But then eventually we should get to a point where we have to meditate on the Nama, Guna, and Leela of Krishna also. While looking at the form of Krishna, we should meditate upon his Leelas, not like a force, but naturally, when we have faith on Krishna, on his mercy, to what Prabhupada is explaining here, when we meditate, when we do kirtan, Govinda, Madhava, the names of the Lord, that's giving, Krishna is giving back, he's reciprocating with so much happiness to us, right? So when he's giving happiness, and when we go to the temple or look at the deity, um, all that happiness is coming back to us. So we if somebody is giving happiness to us, what do? We just reciprocate, saying thank you, and naturally we do that, right? So similarly to Krishna also, when we go to temple or look at the deity, we should see not just the form in the photo or the deity, but try to meditate upon his mercy upon us, giving us happiness. Though we are trying to serve him, he's giving back happiness to us. So we need to meditate on those also, and try to please him more. That's what I was trying to explain, Mataji. May not be relevant to this verse, but kind of extension to this verse, I feel.
Thank you.
But please correct me,
No,
devotees.
right, but that things comes with the advanced chanting. So it automatically comes from name to Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila. So we are chanting names. So with our chanting purity, so slowly the Krishna's qualities, Gun, Rup, then his beauty, and then Lila, pastimes will come when we devotees goes to the bhava stage. That you're right, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji, for
It is
explaining.
very hard
Thank
to do.
you.
We can do. That's why we did Krishna's pastimes books. But spontaneous should come. It depends on the advanced chanting, the purity of the chanting. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Prabhuji, Mataji, any further additions? Any other thoughts?
Professor, one question I have. So, when you say that with advanced chanting, the Leela will come, those are Leelas that we read in the books?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Professor.
So, like in you've been there, I don't know, in the Andhra Chaitanya Prabhu came from Hungary, and he brought with him the books written by His Holiness uh, um,
Shivaram Swami Maharaj.
Ram Goswami Maharaj. So, and also there's books by Indudumna Maharaj, and also by our His Holiness Dharma Goswami Maharaj, Garga Samhita. So there is a more details pastimes, more pastimes in your pastimes. So there is no end of it, because Krishna came to the devotees' mind the way they wanted to see Krishna. Krishna is the Vatsa Vashal. So there is unlimited pastimes, unlimited devotees has experience, and they have written in the books. So if you read the Prabhupada Krishna books, that is the 10th canto of the whole volumes that Prabhupada read. In the Krishna books, Prabhupada himself gave it in a very short form, Krishna book. So there's a 64 chapters. Prabhupada gave in very short in the Krishna books that takes the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, that is 25% of the total Bhagavatam. On the top, if you go further details, those books also help us to know further the pastimes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for explaining. Hare Krishna.
Devotees, any other comments, questions, additions on this verse? Realization.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a question. Let me share my screen. So here, Prabhupada says that attraction for water depends on the purity and the pure taste of the, one of the energies. The impersonalist perceives the presence of the Lord in the taste of water. And the personalist also glorify Lord for his kind taste of to quench the thirst. Right, Prabhuji? So what does that mean, Prabhuji? The impersonalist perceive presence of the Lord in the taste of the water. I
So,
thought the personalist actually, think the taste of the water is Krishna, right, Prabhuji?
yes, person will go, oh, who gave the taste? Oh, beautiful taste of water. It quenches my thirst. Thanks, Krishna, for giving us the water. But impersonalist, oh, the taste. Taste is the highest thing for them. They don't think beyond that. Who is the energetic behind the energy?
Okay,
They never think of that.
got it.
Who is behind the sun rays? They never think of this. So that's why they're impersonalist.
Okay, they just look at the taste, that's it. But the personalist, not only the taste, but they also see, who is behind it.
Behind it, yeah. And Krishna telling directly, Rasha Aham. What does this mean? Aham. Aham means I.
Yeah, I.
Also Konteo. When devotees say I, that means you are fallen. But when Krishna says I, this is the supreme. That's what Bhagavad Gita called Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Mod means Ahankar. Mod means Mashurjo. So mod, if I do my mind, then it is a Ahankar. But when Krishna says that, then it is called Sri Mod. Because this, why is Sri Mod? Because only can Krishna declare that I, nobody else. And if we read Gita, most used words, aham, momo, moyo, moyoibo, mamo, mang. So it's the most used word. And who can use that? Only Krishna. No one else. So when Krishna says these words in the Gita, there's a Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. That Ahankar only fits with Krishna. But if we say that, then it is a mod only. That means we'll fall down.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So directly Rasha Aham, but still they said it is impersonal. Anything else, Prabhuji, you want to share with your realization?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, as Mataji mentioned, Krishna is the cause of all causes, as you also already mentioned, right? So everything is coming from him. He's the essence and the cause of everything, everywhere, He's omniscient, omnipresent, with the modes of material nature, we can see that, and, I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, Krishna is saying, I am the taste in the water. So a beautiful way for us to remember Krishna is when we drink the water, we can remember this verse and think that, oh, Krishna is, quenching my thirst. And, if we look at the sun and the moon, we can see that the light, even for the sun and the moon, is coming from Krishna. Right. And as you mentioned, the syllable Om, most of the, Vedic mantras start with Om, because that's a transcendental sound of every Vedic hymn. So as you mentioned wonderfully, Prabhuji, attraction to the water also, as you mentioned, it depends on the purity of the water, because even when we are in an ocean, that water will not quench our thirst, but attraction for the water depends. That's why Krishna says depends on the purity of the water, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. So wonderfully explained, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Devotees, any other comments, additions on this beautiful verse?
Yeah, I think Sushilpa Mataji and Subal Gopal Prabhu already summarized quite well. Basically, as Prabhu was just saying, throughout the day, if you think of this verse, we are reminded of Krishna, because when we get up in the morning, we have to drink water. And, the taste, we should think of Krishna then. And then the sun's rays, sun comes out, then we are thinking of Krishna again. And then we have to cook, we have to cook, and we need heat. We need heat from the fire, whether you turn on a gas stove or whatever it is. And then our digestion is also heat is required. So that is also Krishna. Uh, uh, yeah. And then, let's see. Then also the ability in a person, whatever he's able to do, where we might think that I did everything, I dissolved because of me, and that kind of, people who are in sense gratification mode will think that way. But really, that ability that you have is coming again from Krishna. We can't forget that. So throughout the day, whatever we are doing, even as in our profession, uh, all these things we are being guided and helped by Krishna if we get into Krishna consciousness. If not, we are just, we're just doing things like, like a robot, in a way. One other point that was already made uh, regarding Om and yeah. So Om, we know that all the mantras, Om Namo, Om Keshwaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, then Om Namo, Om Namah Shivaya, and so on. So all the Vedic mantras to the demigods or even the God will start with Om, but that's an indirect way of addressing. The direct way is what people who know that energetic is Krishna, as we are in Krishna consciousness. So we do the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this way we directly address Krishna. Those are some of the points I wanted to make.
Very nice, good realization. So, as you said, from when you wake up from sleep to drinking water to we go to the bed, as a devotee, we can see Krishna's presence in so many things. And more we can remember Krishna with our day-to-day activities in our every work and every substance we use or whatever around us, then we become a more pure devotee, because devotee means always remember Krishna, right? Never forget Krishna. So thank you, Bose. Very nicely mentioned. Any other devotees, anything? Shurma Mataji, thank you for joining. Want to add something?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It was such a nice, very nectarian class. I'm so happy that I was able to join. Yeah, thank you so much. Very grateful. Hare Krishna.
The Zoom user, Prabhu or Mataji, if you want to add something. So, is it number 8 verse? Yeah, please go ahead. So, this is 7th chapter, number 8 verse, 8, 9, 10, 11. In these 4 verses, Krishna is telling that he's all pervasive, and essence of everything. In 14 examples, Krishna already mentioned in these 4 verses, and we also read in the Vibhuti Jog, 10th chapter, that Krishna will mention another 74 essence of everything. So, why Krishna is mentioning that, as Raghu also mentioned, that we can remember Krishna in every aspect of life. Like, very early in my Krishna consciousness, this is almost 2015, Narayan Prabhu at that time was there. I think Shri Prabhu met Narayan Prabhu, right, this time. So, and my family was in India. Mataji went to Orlando Park with somebody else. So, and Mataji took the key. He cannot go home. So he came to our place, and until 12 midnight, until Mataji came, we were walking around the community, and it's the Christmas time. And there's a lot of lighting, and with the Christmas lighting, Christmas others showcases, paraphernalias outside the door. So I still remember there's the deer, they're pulling that chariot, right, of
Santa Cruz.
Santa Claus says, yes, Santa Claus chariot, and it is yellow colored. So Prabhuji asking me, looking at the yellow, what do you remember? I'm not Krishna conscious. I cannot remember anything. Then there's golden color remembers as Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So devotees were walking, chatting something, but his mind still working on that. Looking at the color, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Radharani's molten gold color. So this is the actually good practice I should do whenever walk, when I see sun rays, drinking water in the morning. We should actually, I wrote it down for myself, Roshan also Konteo, in front of the glass before I drink water in the morning at 4 o'clock or whatever. But most of the time I forget. I drink water, then I remember. So definitely the advanced devotees are more conscious of the Krishna. That's why they're called Krishna conscious devotees. So these are all purpose and essence of everything. And we already discussed that impersonalist cannot think beyond the energy. And we already know the difference between the impersonalist and personality in the nice verse from the Bhagavad, right? Badanti tattva vidas tattam yat jnanam advayam. Prabhupada mentioning advayam. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and personal consciousness are simultaneously present in everything. Advayam, nothing different. Same Krishna's, the light coming, they think that is the supreme. That's the problem. But Krishna and Krishna's light, no difference. Sun and sunlight, no difference. How we perceive the sun? Because of the sunlight. So when you see the sunlight, you know the devotee just go one step ahead. That it is coming from the sun god. So it's Advayam. Bhagavan also telling is Advayam. Badanti tattvavidas. Badanti. Who is taking that? Who knows the truth? Supreme truth. Tattvavidas. Tattam yam yat jnanam advayam. Brahmeti paramatmeti shabdyati bhagavaniti. Sorry. Brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdyate. So, who knows the Brahman, who knows the Paramatma, who knows the Bhagavan? They are all Tattvik. They know there is a one supreme truth. But who knows the Brahma, theirs is not complete, vague. And better understanding is the Paramatma, and topmost understanding the personality of Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada also telling the same thing. Are simultaneously present in everything, and that there is no indication. There's no contradiction. Without Krishna, there's no light. If Krishna is there, the Brahman will be there. The problem is, who cannot see the Krishna, they cannot be devotee. And once you are not devotee, then the problem is that your ultimate goal is not Brahman, because they don't believe in the form, so they cannot have a loka. Loka means where a person can live or stay, and Supreme Personal Godhead stays in the Vrindavan loka. But who doesn't believe in the form, they don't have loka, so they merge in the Brahman, and ultimately they fall down also. There's a Bhagavad also mentioned, Patanti auto anadito jushmat of grayo. Patanti, that means they fall down ultimately. Because without form, how long you can sustain there? And spiritual world means bliss. Ananda Abhashato. We are the part and parcel of the Lord. Krishna is Atmaram. We also want to be happy. Our soul is Shachit Ananda. If there's no Ananda, we cannot last. The difference between the spiritual and material world, spiritual has uninterrupted bliss. In the material world, there's no bliss, there's some happiness. And happiness also, when there's no trouble, then we feel happy. But when there's trouble, we are sad. So there's no pure bliss in the material world. So without personality, we cannot enjoy the business. Like in the Sadhu Sangha, we are 70, 80 Tampa devotees. We know each other. We're going for prasadam together, service together, sitting together, more or less. We're always in the bliss because we can personally, we can hug each other, we can touch each other, we can call each other. But without if I don't know anybody, even in Sadhu Sangha, I'll feel lonely. So through devotees, I'm perceiving Krishna very easily. So form is so important to have the spiritual, to perceive the spiritual bliss. And I know the devotees sometimes, I have some friends in the medical professionals. I know some people, they worship Om. So how can you make relationship with Om? You can pray to the Om. Definitely it reflects to Krishna, but with the word, you cannot have a relationship. Without relationship, without relationship, that means like parents is a relationship, husband relationship. Without near and friends is a relationship. Without relationship, there is no permanent connections. There is no bliss. There is no rasha. So that again, it comes the impersonal way to practice spirituality is a danger, actually, very dangerous zone. Because as a soul, we are servant. If there's no relation, you cannot serve. And if you don't serve, your identity is lost. Because you are servant only. Jiva Shurupa Krishna Nityadas. And if there's no identity, and I is lost, and we cannot serve, then we have to come back again. Because our ultimately goal to serve Krishna eternally. And we all know by this time that Achinto Bhed and Abhed Tattva, that is given by our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That we are simultaneously one but different. Like salt water and drops salt water and holds sea. So both are salt, but taking a drop of water, we cannot say it's an ocean. Everybody laugh. Drop of water, oh, I brought the ocean. No, you brought a drop of water, which must be salty, but it is not the ocean itself. So it's a Achinta means we cannot think this tattva except the devotees. There's a difference between drop of water of the salt water and the ocean, and Aved means by taste quality is the same. So again, the Omkara, we cannot make any relationship with Omkara, though we know that impersonal prayer on Omkara. And Pubrata said very nice word here. Because the impersonalists are very much afraid of addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna by his innumerable names, they prefer to vibrate the transcendental sound Omkara. So what happens as you're in the material world for many, many lifetimes, millions of lifetimes, and every time we get cheated by the relationship. The cheating multiple ways. Like husband can cheat the wife, wife can cheat the husband, friend can cheat the other friend, vice versa. So cheating can go there, or even we don't cheat other, our relationship is very temporary. Whatever relationship we have, very temporary for few, like countable years, if at best. So we are always afraid of making relationship because we know that the relationship never lasts. And this lifetime we have one type of relationship, next lifetime, who knows, my wife will be my husband, I'll be her wife or some others. So they are afraid of relationship. That's why they always try to stay within the impersonal form. But devotees knows that if you want to establish a form relationship here and sincerely as per the parampara, do service and do the Shava to Krishna, will go back to Godhead, and then our eternal relationship will go on from there. So, and last line is very important. Those who do not know Krishna are in illusion. Though we are telling that Advayam, but Prabhupada telling boldly that they are in illusion. So, knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of him is bondage. That's why the Brahman worshippers, they fall down. And when they fall down means again material world, bondage, again bondage. But devotees, because know who is the energetic, go back to the Godhead and ultimate liberation as a servant eternally to serve Krishna. So that is my understanding, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. And other three verses 9, 10, and 11, Krishna gives other examples of the essence of everything. And we can start from tomorrow. We don't have 5, 6, 7 minutes. There was any questions, any comments, any corrections?
Prabhuji beautifully explained, covered everything, including the last line, which is very much important, as you mentioned. I just want to add something which popped into my mind, my thought. So as Krishna is saying here that he is the taste in the water, devotees and senior devotees, advanced devotees, Maharajas, they all, I was observing earlier when Shishika Maharaj Prabhu came to our house for giving the Bhagavatam. When we offered water, the respect towards water, not just drinking water, but the respect towards, so sit in a position where it has to be taken, honored. Water, honored. Usually when my kids are so good, they get the body temperature inside. We just suggest you drink water so that you get drink. So we don't, take it as a material energy. That's it. But when we really think about it's the taste in the water which is given by Krishna, both the water as well as the taste, and really give that time, give that respect, give that time while drinking, the water would go really tasty. And then eventually when we get to know that it's Krishna, so automatically we try to thank Krishna, respect Krishna through the water, through that action. And these positions on how to sit and drink water, and also the while taking bath, the respecting the water by invoking the prayer, welcoming the 7 rivers in that water to purify the body, outside and inside. Right, so it's all the beautiful respect would automatically come, not like a force. But yeah, for kids, when we try to explain it, it might sound like a little bit of a push, but not force. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, Prabhuji. All the Maharajas on how they actually apply the philosophy by loving Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
For bringing up that nice practical example. This is the difference between advanced devotee and me. So sometimes, every time we see prasadam, I see prasadam, start eating prasadam. Even sometimes don't send prasadam prayer. But advanced devotee will sit, will proper respect. So that is called. I was listening one lecture from Bhakti Prem Sen Maharaj that eating prasadam doesn't make it a prasadam. Eating, taking honoring prasadam in Krishna conscious way, then only it makes it prasadam. So consciousness is very important. That's why Prabhupada established ISKCON, International Society for not for Krishna, Krishna consciousness. That we be conscious of Krishna in every action of our life and in every moment. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, can you explain the piece that you said about bathing with water and like the rivers, that part? And Prabhuji, what you said about eating prasadam, can you explain a little bit more on that?
So, Mataji, Krishna is telling, right? I'm the taste of water. Rasa aham opshu konteo. So, before drinking water, we should think that the water created by the Krishna, even the taste of water is given by the Krishna. So, thinking and knowing, remembering that, then drinking water makes you Krishna conscious. So, in every step of your life, every moment, whatever you do, whatever you take, whatever, right? If you remember Krishna, that is the goal of life. Because that way, if we remember Krishna in every action, every moment, then at our last breath, we'll be able to remember Krishna. Smartabha Sharanam Vishnu, Asmartabha Sharanam Vishnu. Every moment we have to remember Krishna. Asmartabha no Jatuchit. We never forget Krishna. We have to remember Krishna, we never forget Krishna.
Mataji, can you also explain what you were saying about the bathing part and recalling the rivers?
So I was just trying to say the prayer, the invocation prayer when we take prior to taking bath, it's water, right? It's the water that we take bath with, but to purify the consciousness while taking bath, because it's purifying the body outside and inside, the prana also, right? So there's a small prayer that we recite, which goes like Gangecha Emunete
Godavari Saraswati, normally Sindhu Kaveri, Jalasmin, Sonnidhim Kuru.
Kuru. Right. So we are inviting all the 7 rivers into the water. So we believe that the 7 rivers would be in the water, which are the purest of the purest, that Lord has given, is coming in those forms to us to purify us while we take bath. And the consciousness of taking the bath is to purify ourselves within and outside so that our body can be used in the service of the Lord throughout the day. So that's why we have to, after this prayer, chant Mahamantra while taking bath. Also and this is what I heard from our dear His Grace Shubhalas Prabhu also mentioning in one of the class, right? So we also should always respect water while taking bath. That's why we don't have the water on our bare body. We have to cover the body. The water shouldn't touch the body directly. There should be a cloth covering the body. And then the water should touch the body. So it sounds ritualistic a little bit, not like we have to follow, but eventually when we get to that tattva, eventually everything becomes natural. We try to follow. So yeah, just want to share. May not be relevant, but please excuse Prabhuji. Just came into thought.
Yeah, at least we can chant 3 times Ma Ganga, Ma Ganga, Ma Ganga before bathing.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we need one clarification. Where it says about the Lord Chaitanya's doctrine, Achintya Veda and Abheda Tattva. Does that, I mean, I think you mentioned about a drop in the ocean, but does that, I thought it referred to the energetic and the energy. Like Krishna is in one place, but simultaneously is everywhere also. Isn't that what it is, the doctrine?
Actually, Prabhuji, it was given because some telling that there's a Dvaita and Advaita Madhavad. Dvaita means they're telling, okay, Advaita means they said the Brahman, Advaita. No,
Right.
we become Narayan. We are in the material body. Once the material body gone, and and we merge with the supreme soul or the light, and Advaita, that means we are one. And Dvaita means they're telling that eternally separate. Krishna is the Bhagavan, and we are the servant, and we'll be serving, and we are separate. Yes, we are separate, but by quality wise, we are the same. Krishna is Satchit Ananda, our soul is Satchit Ananda. We don't realize because of the material body covering the soul and Satchit. But as we purify ourselves by Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we know that we are the soul, and ultimately our soul will go back to the Godhead. And this soul and Krishna soul is no difference. Satchit Ananda. So that is the Aved. Krishna Satchitananda, we are Satchitananda because of the soul. But Krishna is a Vibhu, enormous, and our soul is minute. So minute that tip of the hair, if you cut 10,000 times, it is that small. So that is the example to Ved and Aved. And it also can be explained by the way salt water or sunlight, like the sun god and sunlight that way, or by train. The train is coming from the far. No, that is the Brahma Pramati Bhagavan. So sorry, that is Brahma Pramati Bhagavan. So this is the way the Ved and Aved Tattva. So simultaneously we are one but separate.
Okay.
And the example can be given like you have a math mark sheet, you got 10/10. So you print it out by another paper. So and the printout, that printout is not the same paper, but that also tells you got 10/10. But you did not tear the paper and okay, part of the paper 10/10. You print it out, that is reflecting the 10/10, but that is a totally different paper. So sum is one but separate.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
There's a question for you from a Zoom user.
Yeah, Prabhuji, please, Mataji, go ahead. If you have any question or comments.
He raised his hand, so I don't know.
Yes. Okay, so if no questions, then we'll start tomorrow. His grace will guide us from verse 9 tomorrow. So we can stop here. Thank you, devotees, for your kind association.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hari Bol,
Hare Krishna.
how are you?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. I am fine with your blessings. My mind and soul is in Tampa, ISKCON devotees. My body is in our country, Bharat.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji, for still remembering us. And please,
Hare Krishna.
do
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
So please pray for us.
Okay, brother. Definitely, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So Bancha Kalpaturi Bhashya Kripa Sindhu Pudhyam Pabonebo Vaishnava Namo Namo Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, all those to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Don't pranam. See you tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
Prabhuji,
Hari Bol.